Today, December 5th, marks Trade Day here in South Korea, aimed at promoting exports and recognizing the achievements of companies and individuals that contributed to the nation's trade. For more on this, we're joined today by Professor Oh Joon-seok, Dean at the College of Economics and Business at Sookmyung Women's University. Professor Oh, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So South Korea's exports are on track to reach a historic milestone, right, in trade, $700 billion for the first time. What's driving this surge?
Despite trade uncertainty of the Trump administration, Korea's historic 700 billion milestone is primarily driven by two factors. The one is robust global demand for a key technology product, and the other comes from the diversification strategy of Korean companies. As for robust global demand for first, semiconductor exports were the key performance driver, surging 38.6% year-on-year in November. This represents the highest monthly semiconductor export figure ever recorded. And the global AI boom, both physical AI and sovereign AI, and expanded investment in AI server and data centers have created massive demand for high-value memory semiconductors. Next is a car industry, which has also contributed to a strong performance with a rise in sales of hybrid and electric models particularly. Firm's diversification strategy of market and product helps trade volume to hold the position in the midst of a torrent. As for market diversification, Korean companies tried in many ways to diversify export to destination with notable growth in shipment to the EU area, Asian countries, and India. This has helped to mitigate some regional trade challenges under uncertainty. Export to China and the ASEAN increased by 6.9% and 6.3% respectively. Such as K-beauty product and K-food can be examples of production diversification, which has also increased the global popularity with export in this category, crossing the $10 billion US dollar threshold for the first time. But the outlook of international trade is not that bright due to comparative geopolitical tension. Korea needs economic diplomacy within the collaborative framework of regional integration, such as CPTPP or RCEP, more than ever.
Right, you just mentioned that semiconductor was the main key driver. So the country has seen a particularly sharp surge in chip exports. How long do you expect the semiconductor boom to continue, and what's your outlook for next year?
It is true the Korean economy has been on a recovery track, as well as improving consumer sentiment. The current semiconductor boom is widely expected to continue with strong growth. Analysis of BOK and WSTS projected continued strong momentum for the global semiconductor market. Memory chip price, especially for HBM used in AI, are expected to remain elevated until the end of 2026. And even further 2027. The WSTS forecast market growth of over 25% for 2026, with the total market size approaching $1 trillion US by 2030. We've experienced till now the semiconductor upcycle usually lasts around 2 years, but the current one may be prolonged by the global AI boom. This super cycle is mainly driven by exponential demand for AI servers, a shift from past cycle driven by smartphone or PCs. But despite the current boom, it should be noted that the semiconductor industry is historically cyclical, typically experiencing a boom burst cycle lasting approximately 4 years. So the market might be experience a bumpy ride over the next few years with potential for slowdown after 2026. In addition, we have to count in such geopolitical tensions. Reforming AI supply chain and realignment of AI value chain remains as significant factors that could impact the market's trajectory.
I see. And, tariffs on South Korean cars exported to the U.S. have now officially been lowered to 15%, and the change will now take effect retroactively to November 1st. What impact will this have on Korean automakers shipping to the United States?
It's a good news. Uncertainty surrounding Korea's export have partially eased as the U.S. Confirmed the lowering of tariff. But news of the tariff reduction led promptly to a sharp rise in the stock price of Hyundai and Kia Motors, reflecting investor relief and improved earnings outlook for the company. The move will allow Korean automakers to compete on a more equal footing with rivals from Japan and European Union, who also faced a 15% tariff. Prior to the tariff reduction, Korean cars faced a 10% point higher tariff than Japan rivals, which raised their price advantage. But while the 15% tariff is lower than the 25%, still make Korean cars less competitive compared to those from countries not subject to the same tariff. In this way, reciprocal tariff will increase cost of for Korean automakers shipping to the U.S., making their vehicle less competitive. This move also means automakers must adjust their supply chain and may lead to a higher price for U.S. Customers. The new tariff will disrupt already established globally integrated supply chain, forcing companies to reevaluate and change their sourcing and just-in-time delivery models. It might be likely, I guess, to give momentum for car makers not to adjust the supply chain, but separately and independently from the U.S. market, targeting for the EU market to make a pivot into the new EV supply chain earlier than expected.
I see. All right, Professor, I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.